Jack. All right. You got the stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Hot damn, it's time to get down to the jam. It's time to get down, it's time to get down, it's time to get down to the jam. I said it's time to get down to the knowledge, gonna get on down with the know. On the morning coffee show, on morning coffee with Keith, here on Pop Culture Minefield.
Excuse me, can I get a cup of coffee? Black?
Can't you see we talking white?
Well, and happy Thursday morning to everybody. And look, I show up and I got the crew with me. I am so lucky to have Gary and Anima, and of course,
his white posse.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
guys, I'm having a day off and I'm so happy about it because everybody around me is going on holiday in turns and I'm the only one going into work every fucking week.
You are dedicated, Anima. You're the good one.
Well, I know what I'm doing it for, so.
And let me just say, Gary, you know, it's never special until you're there to say what you say. You know, you were that kid that would have gotten me into so much trouble in school.
Yeah. Somebody called me one time when I was a kid. Somebody called me a class clown. And I said, oh, contraire, mon frère. I am not the class clown. The class clown is the kid during a homecoming game went through the banner for the opposing team naked with their colors painted all over him and their banner hanging from his ass cheeks. The class comedian, this guy's the one who talked him into doing it.
I'm sure somebody will get around to sending you your cloak. That way you can wear it properly and just tell people to do it. Do it.
Yeah. Do it. I think I do have a friend that's worse than me on that is Mac. Because like he'll get it with Sean, my buddy Sean. I don't know if you met Sean. Sean McComb. He moved to Chicago. He's been here for years. He's one of Zoe's uncles. And Sean, when he gets to drinking, Mac will start whispering in his ear. He's the little devil in his ear. And I think one of the most messed up things, I mean, he's done some messed up things, but like one time I was at a party and he was drunk and he forgot my daughter was there. And his wife was sitting to my right and Zoe was sitting between us. And Sean walked up to the right next to my head and he had whipped out his dick.
Oh,
and
gosh.
He had squeezed it because he's not circumcised. So he squeezed it and it popped out of the end of it.
Oh.
Right when I turned, he popped it. He goes, "Hey, baby." And I went, "Oh, Jesus Christ." And then I was like, "Oh, shit, Zoe." And his wife goes, "Sean, Zoe," and leaps over her to guard her. And I told Mac, I said, "You are no longer allowed to be his devil when he's drunk if Zoe comes to the party. You can do that shit when she's not here, but if she's at the party, don't fucking do that." And then later, Sean just said he wouldn't drink whenever Zoe was there because he didn't want to ever have a repeat of that. He was so ashamed of himself. He forgot she was there. But the funniest thing now that he ever did was Mac talked him into pooping in a pizza box and putting it on the table. So he poops in the pizza box.
Not 5 minutes and we're demonetized.
And I'm using clean PG words, my friend. And so he poops in the pizza box and puts it on the table right in front of his wife. And it's one of those moments that's so fucking funny because I got up to go outside because they were grilling outside, and I went up there to see how the meat was doing. And as I got through the kitchen, I could hear behind me, "What is that?" He said, "Oh my God, Sean, you! Oh my God!" And I just told Mac, I said, "You're evil." I thought I was bad. Hold on a second here. I'll be right back, guys.
Nothing like stories of growing a tail in a pizza box. So, oh, wow.
Dude.
I gotta say, I've never done that. I've never done anything like that. I tell bad jokes. You know, I'm the guy that repeats the stuff that I hear from Saturday Night Live. That was me. You know, that's as far as I went. Oh, wow. Never boring. Well, look, first of all, let me just go through and into the chat, say good morning to Penny, and of course the aforementioned Anima, because she's cool like that. And then let's see, Mr. Burr, Josh Co, Mrs. A, and of course my good buddy Joe, aka Joe's Atmosphere.
Joe's Atmosphere. I always pronounce the fear. Mrs. A. Now, when I see Mrs. A, I have a teacher that Jim Woodward, all of us had growing up, and she's still a friend of mine. She's the she was with that band, the Uppity Blues Women, and she's the reason I met B.B. King, because she opened for him, and we got to go backstage after the show. And her name is Mrs. A. Her real name is Adegbalola. It's like crazy fucking African name. It's fucking awesome. We all just called her Mrs. A. And I messed with her so much through school, and she's told me, she goes, I was talking to one of the other teachers.
What's wrong with her?
Well,
look who's talking.
Yeah, well.
Really, you have no room to talk on that, baby. She thought I was funny. She did. She found me very funny, though I annoyed her because I would like, because like, so I told you, like one time I was doing something and another student complained. He says, "Well, Gary's doing it," and she goes, "Gary gets straight A's in science." And she just looked at him and he went, "Oh, okay." Because he was not it was one of the few classes I did get it, like English, social studies, and what do you call it? Science. I did really well in middle school. High school, I excelled at math and science. But man, oh man. But Mrs. A was her name, Mrs. Adegbalola. Wow. And she ran the Black Theater downtown that was for live shows. And they put on a lot of African plays and musicals, and it was wonderful. I'd go there. I forget the name of the theater. It had a number in it. I can't remember what that number was. And I would go there because I just loved, our community was really good there in Fredericksburg. It really was. It's bad now. It's
what I miss. It's one of the things that I missed, because when before my family moved here, back in Ohio, we had a lot of stuff that we were able to go do that was offered. And that was one of the things that kind of...
Well, there's a large Black community there in Ohio, especially in Cincinnati.
Where
were you at again?
We were in Northeast. So
Northeast,
other side of the state. So we, Akron area, and there was always a lot of stuff to do, not just for, Blacks, but for everybody. And so there were a lot of programs and other things that kept us busy. And moving here, there wasn't as much in the beginning. So my mom was kind of annoyed with not being able to do as much.
One of the weird things about Fredericksburg is we had the Colonial Theater downtown. I told you I went there a lot of times to see some cool movies. From Escape from New York and An American Werewolf in London, I saw there. And but it was originally the Black Theater in town, and it kind of stayed that way for a couple of years when I moved there. it was like predominantly that. But a lot of my black friends go watch this movie with me this weekend. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, is it okay if I go? And they're like, yeah, nobody fucking cares. And next thing you know is just the whole community changed in the early 70s. And that's what because that team, what was it, the Denzel Washington football high school movie was about one of the
Remember the Titans
played against.
Yeah,
Remember the Titans. They were one of the teams that we played, and and I came there right after they had desegregated Fredericksburg. But there were some of those that still, like, for a couple of years, seemed to cling to it. They were because they were used to it. They were so used to it, and predominantly, like the movies you would see at Colonial Theater when I was there, first moved there, was like Bruce Lee, Hong Kong action films, and within 2 years, they were showing Don Knotts and Tim Conway movies there. And then, like I said, that's where I went to see Escape from New York and An American Werewolf in London. In fact, hold on, let me think. I saw The Howling there too. It's like it just I loved the way our town changed like that. It was pretty amazing. Living in the desegregated South was awesome.
Cool.
And I really didn't see racism.
Way cool.
There were a couple of bouts later. One I didn't even know about until later when Vic Armstrong, you met Vic. Vic told me that why Frankie got punched because he had called our buddy Lance Ellis the N-word. And he knocked him the fuck out. He hit him so hard, he broke his jaw, and then he fell back on the concrete dugout floor and cracked his head.
Wow.
And so he had a fractured skull. Oh, yeah. But he had his jaw wired. And I remember we would fuck with him going, hey, was it worth it?
God, what a nightmare.
Let me just say that to him at school. Hey, Frankie, yeah, was it worth it? No.
Oh, wow. I only met one person in my life that had the nerve to say that, at least when I was within earshot.
Really?
And
was it somebody from school or what was it?
It was somebody that I think I was in high school at the time. And I remember Kevin and I just sort of looked at the dude. And you know how Kevin, you've been around us. So yeah. from hanging around us and being who we are and the mood, how did a friend of mine describe it? It's like you guys were all cool, and then suddenly things got real cool. Like cold from the both of you, and that look, you guys, like I've never seen you guys give that look before. It's like we got no reason to be like that until somebody activates us.
Activate. Hey, what did you think of the thumbnail? I never heard back from you on it.
I'm sorry. I was just saying to Martin, it's like that is cool, but it kind of looks like a plastic toy version of me.
That's what I like about it. That's why I like that stuff, because I want to give our thumbnails a more distinct look and help people understand what we're doing here.
I'm pretty. Look, first of all, I'm flattered, but I guess looking at that, that's exactly what a toy version of me would be like.
Well, there's a one version of you.
At least it gave King gray hair.
A collectible action figure.
Because with Martin, the AI fucked up and gave him hair, and Martin doesn't have hair.
Yes, and it made me gringo.
Hold on, I gotta go get this real quick. Hold on. The website I use for that is ArtFlow, and there's one
weird
picture.
It makes everyone younger. That's why.
This is one of them that cracked me up. This one cracked me up. Save image.
Oh my.
Oh
my.
Good morning, Lauren.
Because apparently you're
Lauren.
You have telekinesis.
Telekinesis.
Yeah, you have telekinesis in this photo. It's fucking funny. Oh shit! I got to download it. They do the WebP thing if you try to save the image itself. There we go. I saved it. And now I got to go back and find the other one because here they go. Which one do I want to do? Oh, which one? Because they did this to Martin too. This would crack me up because this is what they do automatically. Where's the download again? There it is. I got to share these photos. They're so fucking fun. Yeah, this one. Wait, no, I like this. God damn it! So many of these are so fucking awesome.
Oh my god! I'm beginning to.
I'm going to go the one without your photos, where you're double fisting the coffee mug.
Oh jeez.
Oh my god. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Here we go. Let me download it. There we go. So let me add these. And I was just fucking cracking up laughing. Dude,
I really want to look at this.
Oh, they're fucking awesome, dude.
I've got grandkids.
You apparently in this one photo use that relaxant that you can put in your hair and make your hair look like a white guy's hair. And,
wow.
It's just, they automatically do it when you become a member. They do a bunch of photos for you. Oh, I got to show you one of the cool ones they did. Where's it at? There we go. You'll like this one. All right, I downloaded that one. I'll get all of them added here. Do not cheat. Do not cheat and look at them.
I'm not.
I'll
be like the audience and be surprised.
Yeah,
I'm sitting on my hands.
Surprise! Or as they said on Dexter, surprise, motherfucker.
Right?
That's one of them that they did. I didn't do that one.
Wow.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
I love that one. This one is skinny ass Keith with telekinesis.
Yeah, that's a small head compared to the rest of my body.
You look like you're 18.
Yeah, it's like you got a pencil neck, motherfucker. The really white Keith is the funny one. Check this shit out.
Oh,
the fuck?
That's not even me.
No.
Okay, get rid of that one. No, get that off.
I like
it.
I'm going to put that on your profile when you're not looking.
No.
This is the double fisting one is fucking awesome.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
I would never allow you to play with my photos and that AI. Okay, never do that.
I have news for you. You can't stop him.
Oh wow! You know what?
What?
I might just have to use that one.
That was so funny.
The best part of waking up is a brother with the cup.
Yeah. There's another one here. Hold on, now this one's kind of gay. I mean, it's a fucking cool photo, but they made you look with the white hair again. And
what?
Which is fucking funny. So hold on, let me get these two. This one's
hey,
fucking
Jeebus.
Hey, Jeebus.
Hey, Jeebus.
Hey, Jeebus.
Let me get this one. And download. There we go. So let me add these. These are both fantasy ones that they automatically do for you.
Uh-oh.
And they look cool, dude. This one, the one with the white guy hair, is funny.
Again?
It's Keith Moncrief is Aragon.
Uh-oh.
This is the cool one here, right here. Look at that one. Oops.
Wow.
Something is wrong with the eyes, though.
Yeah, that's what I was noticing. My brother had a field day with that one.
Check this out. This is Keith as a cracker.
Oh, jeez. Even I'm going, that looks like a wig.
Yeah. A bad one.
Yeah.
So that website, if you ever want to try it, Keith, it's called artflow.ai.
I'm gonna have to try that because if any of my brothers see that, and I know I'm gonna not hear the end of it, I may have to try something.
Now I've got a fucked up sense of humor, and it's like to fuck with James. I would do a picture of him standing with his arms crossed. Hey, when was that picture taken, James? If you're watching, James, I hope you found that funny.
I would do one of let's see. I would do one of okay. I'd do one of James doing stand up with the mic and the lights and everything.
That'd be cool.
I'd do another one of Kevin.
And of course, it's like just the word stand up is funny.
He would look. I got to say one thing about my brother James. He is so naturally funny. He really could have done stand up if he had wanted to.
He gets my humor, so I've made him laugh a couple of times.
Yeah, you have. You have. It is yeah. And you know, speaking of stand up, that brings me to today's topic.
Technically 2 topics, even though it's all part of one.
It's all part of the same thing. You know, looking at what is
Doomcock's been nailing it the last couple of weeks, man.
Yes, he has. Between Disney and Paramount, it has been nothing short of just comedy. I mean, that's the way I can look at it. Obviously, we're talking about millions of dollars, billions, really, which when you really think about it, that's not really funny because eventually that's got to come out of somebody's backside.
Well, you got to remember this, that they have not turned a profit yet with the Lucasfilm IPs.
Yeah.
Not one fucking dime. And so they've been in the negative for over a fucking decade.
Yeah. And Disney Plus also. Remember, it was Bob Iger himself that said that Disney Plus, they projected that Disney Plus was going to actually turn a profit by the end of this month. That was like years ago. And so nothing that has happened even recently points to that happening. So something magical is going to happen for Disney Plus to start turning a profit. All I can say is all you people that own stock and voted for Bob Iger, you got no room to complain.
Yep.
Period. None. Nelson Peltz tried to tell you guys, he tried to warn you guys, and you still went ahead and did what you did. So enjoy this meal because you made it. And now you're going to have to eat it.
Yeah, it's like that's Frankie when I was in high school with his jaw wired. Was it worth it? Was it worth it, man?
I remember telling you guys about the video where Universal was testing Flying the Dragons in Florida. I had forgot to tell you one of the things that they had put out there, Universal, was that they were doing a whole thing where they were going to have this whole kind of like their version of an evil land and lair. And what happens at D23? Disney unveils their own thing. Disney can't help now but follow Universal, which is what happens when you fire all of the talented, smart people that used to work for you and you allow the competition to hire them out. This is the reason why Universal is really on top and is going to stay on top for several years. You know, I mean, think about it. These former Imagineers are testing and flying a dragon.
I know, wasn't that incredible?
That
was fucking incredible, dude.
It was. That in and of itself is the coolest app. And remember, this is in the shadow of what happened at San Diego Comic-Con when they did that huge drone demonstration where they used these drones that were lit up to create, you know, Deadpool and Wolverine in the night sky. But having one dragon fly around during the daytime, to me, was as good, if not better, than what they did in San Diego, because that really is something that you don't see every day.
A
And
fucking full-scale dragon flying in the air.
I mean,
and I wish we got a close-up of it because I still don't know, how they made this thing.
Yeah, I
really
think they're
flying.
gonna. Yeah, and you see the wings move. That's the other thing. It's not just it's
flapping,
floating there. The wings
tails
are
moving.
flapping. Yeah, I mean that's and they were just testing it. Now, to me, I think they did that for two reasons. One, they probably were testing everything, but two, I think they're getting closer and closer to unveiling eventually what they've got going on. And remember, these are all people doing this that used to work for Disney, and they fired them all. So the same geniuses that fired these people are basically running Disney into the ground. And I'm shaking my head going, what? Obviously, you guys are seeing something that the rest of us aren't. And I hope for your sake, financially and otherwise, you guys really do come out on top, because as it stands, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the genius move. I'm not seeing where this is really going to work out for you. Disney needs to straighten themselves out. And supposedly they are touting the fact that they let, Marvel's touting the fact that they let go several people who were
executives. Yep.
Yeah. People that were basically woke. A lot of people that were bringing in a lot of the woke stuff that they were doing. My reply to that is, I believe it's BS, because Nate Moore still works there. Look, I was telling Martin before the show, it's not that I want Nate Moore to get fired at all. It's very rare to see a man of color make it pretty far. But nothing that Nate Moore has done has said to me that he truly is the comic book fan that he says himself that he is. Just like with Kevin Feige, people, I know people that keep repeating, well, isn't he a comic book fan? Yeah, you're repeating what he says in interviews. That's the thing about both Nate Moore, Kevin Feige, and others. They say something in an interview, and you got a lot of people out there just repeating it as if it's fact. It's just what they say. Now, based on things that I've seen, Kevin Feige could be a comic book fan, but if he is, he's a bad one. He's not that good.
Well, you pointed out a long time ago that he only apparently read from the 80s on.
Yeah, it's limited. He has a very limited knowledge of comics. And at his age, he should have more of a knowledge of comics that approaches what you and I have, Gary, than for someone that just decided to start reading in the 80s, or better yet, sometimes I think he only really started reading in the 90s. And
I have my doubts with a lot of them because, we've talked about this before. The guy from CW, that dude, man, he kept claiming to be a big comic book fan, and I'm like, a comic book fan would not do what you've done.
Yeah.
So no, you're a liar.
For me, it's as simple as that. If you have to point out,
and I'm not talking about Jeff Johns, the other guy.
Whatever in interviews, you're not. If you have to mention it to people so they know, you're not a fan. They should know anyway.
Well, and it's easy to see that James Gunn is. You look at his work. His work tells you. It's easy to see that Ryan Reynolds is a fan of a sort, but by his own admission, he got into it rather late. I at least applaud him for his honesty. And yet the reason why I overlooked that is because of how well he delivers and what he does. I don't believe you have to be a comic book fan that's been reading comics as long as Gary and I have. You just have to be someone who truly understands the depth and breadth of what comics have been in the past and how you can use that to create better entertainment now. Okay, I don't need somebody.
And look, I get what Monkey Jeeves just said, but what you're meaning, and to make it clear, it's not what you're saying, Monkey. This is something that goes deeper than just reading comic books. It's understanding them, loving them, and cherishing them, which is something that J.J. Abrams didn't even fucking do with Star Wars. You know, and he claims to be like a big Star Wars fan. Him, you know, because I heard stories about him and his buddy from Heroes, you know, playing Star Wars in the yard all the time. And I got to tell you, I knew nerds that I grew up with that fucking like the prequel trilogy and think the sequels are fine. And I'm like, turn in your fucking nerd card. Because reading comic books, knowing comic books doesn't mean you're a real nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I say.
Again, this is.
Hi, Sherry.
If this wasn't making money, if this wasn't popular, 90% of the people that are going around claiming that they're nerds wouldn't say a thing. But it's because it is popular and because it is making money and there's the potential for more, which is the sad fact. You got a lot of people saying things, but again, just because you say it doesn't make it so. And again, when I get disappointed in things, it's not that I expect any particular IP or characters or people to make movies that follow comic books exactly, word for word, movement. That's not what I'm expecting at all. But there's a certain level there that you have to meet. And some people are either unwilling or incapable of doing that. And I was having a conversation with a friend last night. And I was kind of surprised he hadn't watched our show up to now. So I had to tell him, look, Matt Reeves is the Batman, which he admitted to loving. I said, look, there's nothing wrong with loving that show, loving that movie. But I said, I'm not a Matt Reeves fan because he straight up lied about being a comic book fan, about being a Batman fan. You know, if you are a comic book fan of Batman, you would not have waited a year, delayed production a year to write what that movie was, which is nothing more than the movie. It's 7, and it's badly done 7. You know, you could have written a much better script and a way of doing things that would have made a lot more sense. Because I said, look, I'm glad you love the movie, but could Bruce Wayne, after having trained with Ra's al Ghul, do you think Ra's al Ghul would have been impressed with Bruce just in the dark, stomping down the street to give the bad guys an opportunity to defend themselves? Or walk up to a door and knock on it? You know, that's pretty good use of his ninja skills that he supposedly had. You know.
Well, I think that, look, for me in that film, where they lost me, the first time they lost me is when he's in the subway.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Batman Year 2 is what this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
They got a fucking bat signal. And the punks in the subway go, and who are you? Like, you wrote that in your own fucking movie, you dumb motherfucker. Year 2, everybody knows who Batman is, but apparently these criminals down in the subway have never heard of him. Jesus Christ, what fucking writing.
It's even worse. The criminals were talking about the Batman before they assaulted the other guy. They were talking about him.
Again, verisimilitude.
So the two things I liked in that film, Penguin was great.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell was great as a Penguin. I'm going to watch that series as long as I don't fucking have to see Matt Reeves' Batman in there. The other thing I liked is that one scene with the fucking Batmobile. Even though I couldn't understand how the fuck he got the Batmobile there without them seeing it. I didn't care. I fucking enjoyed that chase scene and watching Penguin lose his fucking mind. That was fucking awesome. The only thing better than that is when Corridor Crew got a hold of it and made it Batman 66. The same scene.
That is good. That's
Adam
funny.
West doing and actual Burgess Meredith, the Penguin. It was fucking great. Why is somebody in here? Who is that?
I don't know.
Martin.
Same thing. What is that?
Hold on. It is 10:50. And you
don't
know
know.
what? That is my special guest for the day.
They couldn't connect their mic.
Yeah, they couldn't connect their hardware.
Oh, yeah.
I got a notification that she couldn't connect.
Okay, well, we'll let him try one more time and see if that'll work out. But to get back to what we were saying, again, comic book fans, those of us who lived through all the different things Hollywood has given us over the decades, you know, we are a pretty accepting bunch because we've accepted a lot of stuff. And to get to this point where Hollywood has decided to spend a lot of money making this, and you can't even be bothered to at least do a little more research on some of these characters to get things a little closer to being right. Again, it doesn't have to be exact like it is in the comics, but you know, you got to be in the ballpark. You got to at least act like you give, you know, you're giving more than just lip service to us fans. You got to act like
I see who it is.
Love them. Hello, Jason.
That guy.
Hey,
Yeah, that guy.
Hey, Jason.
Whatever.
How we doing, buddy?
I'm okay. I'm trying to get my sound working here so I can hear you. It's not quite doing it yet.
Well, the reason why I invited Jason in here was we're going to give him the opportunity to talk about a project that he has. Kind of like my other twin brother, Robert Meyer Burnett. Jason here has a project that he's been working on that is a full cast audio production with actors involved. You are still slowly revealing the cast to everybody, and you're putting this on, let's see, you're going to put together a campaign to raise money for it so that people can...
Yeah, it's already going.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So,
Your
look,
car is so loud, I have to mute you in between.
That's okay. Sorry, that's okay. No worries.
So tell me, how did you come up with the idea, first of all, for this particular artistic endeavor?
Oh, hold on. I'm trying to unmute you. Unmute him, Martin. I can't unmute him now. Fucking shit. Oh, he froze.
Oh, yes. Neither could I.
Basically, I basically came up with this. I've been wanting to do a audio drama for quite a while. I attempted one during the pandemic, but COVID depression kind of knocked that out of the way, and we never finished it. And I just kind of came up with this concept for, to do a film noir. Well, I say film noir, but a crime story. And I always was thinking about the internal monologue that a detective does. And I was just thinking about, I like the genre mix, and I thought, well, what would if I made like a supernatural horror aspect out of this? And I started thinking, I said, well, what if he was possessed? And then I said, oh, okay, well, then that'd make some interesting internal monologue. And so that's how the demonic detective kind of came to be. I had the name Jack Faust for quite a while. I actually had it for a Western concept I wrote years ago, but I liked it enough that I was like, that fits really well with detective in front of it. And once I did that, it just kind of all the story started coming out, my first draft of the script was over 200 pages, and so I definitely had to trim that down. But it's, you know, kind of just been, kind of fell into place. It's kind of, you know, The Shadow, it meets, you know, Batman and Deadman kind of mixed into like Philip Marlowe, if you will, or Jack Spade or whatnot, or Sam Spade.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's coming together. We launched the the fundraising campaign earlier this week. If you go to demonicdetective.com, you can click on the link that says, you know, it'll take you to the Seed and Spark website where we're at, and we've got an amazing cast that's doing this. So it's going to be a SAG project as well, so that's going to be fun to do. And so I've got quite a few people that are out in LA that are going to be a part of it. I've got one guy attached to it, and so his participation is pending, but he's from the show. He was in the show Longmire, and so I'm excited to possibly get him on board. That's Martinez.
Is this going to be
but again, his participation is pending.
Is that going to be a paid gig for the actors?
Yeah. Yes, it is, but they are graciously working out. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say I have friends that are actors out in Hollywood, including Zach Ward. He's been in Transformers and Christmas Story. He was Scott. What's his name?
Yeah, I know who he is. Scott Farkas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him.
Oh, right on. Right on. Well, that's cool to know. Well. Oh yes, he is. I like him. Well, they're all working on a micro budget podcast agreement and stuff, so they're graciously gonna they're just doing that to help get it made right now. So that's my biggest goal, is to be able to. It's gonna be a paying gig for them, but they're graciously working on that micro budget just to help get the thing made. So I'm appreciative of that. But I've got a great composer out in LA that composed the music for The Flying Greek and season 2 of Drifter with my brother, Joel Miller. And if you go to the website, you'll actually be able to hear the theme song to the show. It's at the very bottom of the website. You'll just push play on it, but that's something that he composed, so they'll give you an idea of the quality there. And yeah, so I mean, if you go to the website, all the information's there. I'm dropping fun little facts and stuff about the show and the series, like the world of New Salem, Massachusetts, that this takes place in, because it's like an alternate timeline type deal. But it does pull from history, and I love pulling from history, and so it does deal a lot with Salem witch trials and.
We're losing you, Jason.
Which trials are destructive setting.
Wow. So now, Jason, when it comes to actually recording all of this, what kind of equipment are you actually using for this?
What we're doing is everybody's recording where they're at. I will direct them from here, and basically call, and I'll direct them and go through things with them individually, and then turn them loose on on some scenes, and then they'll record all their stuff and just send it in to me and my producer / co-editor Jonathan Robbins, and then we'll just start piecing everything together. So it's kind of an unorthodox way of doing it, but it was something that I attempted with my first attempt at a audio drama back during the pandemic, and it actually worked quite well, surprisingly. So that's, it works well for everybody. There's not a lot of traveling. Though I do hope that after this one, if it does well, that I can do another one, but actually do it where it's like a full cast, staged thing with everybody in the same room.
That'd be cool.
Cool.
But again,
like that.
that's so it's just a little bit different, but it makes life easier on all of us.
So now, how far do you want to take this? Is this a project that you're just going to leave as an audio drama, or are you wanting to do more, like say comics, maybe animation, live action film? Where do you
I'm always open to anything. I mean, I've definitely outlined like a little hard case crime novel of the character doing something like this, just its own thing. But I'm always open to doing anything. I'd love to shoot a film noir type thing, and this would be fun, right up my alley to shoot as well. But right now it's just I'm focusing on getting the audio part of it done, because this is something I always wanted to attempt, and I think it'll turn out really good. And once I'm done with that, if opportunity knocks to do it as live action or whatever, I'm always open to that.
Now, how much of this did you originally have written by the time you started casting? How much of it was written? Did you have all of it written?
It was all.
I mean,
no, it was all written. I had it all written before I casted anybody.
Wow. And you had said that this was really an idea that you've been holding on to and building for a long time. When you started work on this, when you finally figured out that it was going to be a demonic detective and you figured out his name, did you listen to a lot of old radio shows and others to prepare yourself for writing and putting it together? And if so, which ones did you listen to and draw inspirations from?
Yes, once I knew what I was doing and what the story was going to be, basically, since I work a 3 a.m. morning shift, and I also teach adjunct at Mizzou, I would get up and grade my papers at night, and then once that was done, that's when I would do my writing. But in between those things during the day, I went through and listened to, my favorite one was an old audio drama called The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. It was just basically one-off episodes where he was solving a crime each week. That was a lot of fun to listen to and very motivating with how I wanted to structure the show. Definitely The Shadow, just because I wanted that supernatural element and that inspiration. So The Shadow, those old audio serials, and then besides the audio stuff, honestly, I would pick up my Batman comics, and also just watch some of the animated Batman films as well. And he was a detective as well, obviously. So I drew inspiration from a lot of different things that I liked, but audio-wise, it definitely was The Adventures of Philip Marlowe and The Shadow, when Orson Welles was voicing them.
Now you're working.
I got to get going here, and so does Anima. I haven't eaten yet. I'm famished. But Jason, good seeing you, buddy. We got to get you on one of the other shows too.
No problem.
So we can talk more about this. Anyway, take care, buddy. Good seeing you.
Hey, you too.
Keith, I'll see you later, man. Martin, bye guys.
Nice to meet you, Jason.
Nice to meet you.
Hi, guys.
Jason, that's my girlfriend. That's my girlfriend.
Oh, hi. Well, nice to meet you.
All right. Hi. That's her right there. Can you see her?
Yes, I can.
All right.
Greetings from
I'll see you later, buddy.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
So now you're working with Jonathan W. Robbins.
Yes.
How did you meet him?
I have known Jonathan from the web series world, actually. We met back, I want to say it was 2012, when Brittany Greer, my former producing partner, and I went out to LA Web Fest out there, and we met him and a bunch of our Canadian friends now. And he and I have just been being best friends ever since, and we've been trying to find a project to do together. I mean, he did help edit on Drifter Lonesome Highway. But I've been wanting to work with him as an actor, and whenever I was writing him, I just kind of was like, I just think that he could probably do a really good voice of it. And I talked with him and described him and came up with it, and it just, clicked, and it was like, well, this is kind of perfect for both of us where we are at the moment. And so, I think in 2014, he and I both co-produced the IAW TV Awards out in Las Vegas. And so, like I said, I've known him for quite a long time. He's a very accomplished director and actor. He was in the Murdoch Mysteries, if anybody knows what that show is. He's very active, very busy man, always filming something, and keep him busy. So I'm just happy that I actually get to work with him on something too.
Wow. Now, would you like to talk about some of the cast that you have working with you on this particular project?
Yeah, I can do a few of them here. Of course, Jonathan's going to be Jack Faust, but he's also helping me co-produce it and helping me edit. But I also have Jillian Clare. She's been in the web series world. She's been in television. She's been in everything that you can think of. I think she was even in an episode of Supernatural, maybe it was. I'll have to go back and look on IMDb. But can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
sorry. I am texting my wife back on something here. No, it's okay. We're good. This is about lunch.
Well, if you have to go, that's all right.
Well, I can go here in a few in this moment, but I just wanted to touch base with her on that. But the thing is, I got Jillian Clare. I've got Shelley Wagner, who was in Winter's Bone, and she was in the last movie star with Burt Reynolds. She's actually playing Lilith, the demon, so it's something new and exciting for her to try on that role. And then we have I have to go back and look at the list. I actually have Vanessa Lainani, Drifter herself from Drifter. She's going to play our main witch and her leader of a coven. And so glad to be working with her again. I have got Ed Robinson. He's also a good friend, but he's also been known him from the web series world for years. Great actor. Great writer as well. Excited about that. And then I got my cousin Ryan Smith, who a lot of people won't know him, but I've told him ever since high school that he needed to really focus on the acting because he was so good at it and he could do very good impressions. And so he went into the armed forces and after school, and I just randomly called him one day and sent him some lines to read and different things, and he read each line, and his voice had just aged like fine wine. Every character, I even showed it to my wife without showing her. I just listen to these three voices, and she goes, well, who are those three people? I said, they're all the same person. And she's like, are you serious? I said, yeah, it's Ryan. And she's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's gotten that. That's amazing. And so I'm excited to have him on board as well. And I know I'm forgetting some people. I got a couple of Springfield actors, and Janique English and her husband are going to play our voodoo couple, or if you will, duo in the series. Chris English, that's what his name is. And I will have a cameo because I always like to do that. But if you go to the website as well, the cast and crew are all listed there that we're going to be working with, and it has their photo and their concept art of their character, and But again, demonicdetective.com.
That is fantastic. Fantastic. Jason, look, you have never stopped being inventive, incredible, and fun to know. I wish you a lot of luck at this. Well,
thank you. I appreciate that.
So, well, listen, I I'm gonna let you get back to driving. While you were talking, we were showing your video, so people had a chance to at least get a good visual representation of what you were talking about. So, for any of you out there that want to help out in the fundraising for this particular incredible project, please just go to demonicdetective.com and help out with this project.
And even $5 goes a long way for us. It'll help.
Good. This is an incredible project, my friend. I am very proud of you and very happy for you, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, listen, you have a great day. Tell your wife I said hello, okay?
I will. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Wow. That's my good buddy, Jason Brazier. Wow. Always inventive, always trying something new. And that really is the essence of what it's about. Just try to do something new. Okay. Let's see. Monkey Jeeves says you should talk to Tom Kunkel. He did a noir detective story. You are right, Monkey. I probably should give him Tom Kunkel's information. Probably have some advice to give him too. Anyway, let's get back to talking about Disney and Paramount. What we have within all of this is a situation where things seem to be changing. Okay. Over the course of this last week, we have had the Disney's given their financial report, and things did not look very nice. And what this brings to a close for this year, this financial year, is that nobody's doing very well. You have had Universal, you have had Warner Brothers, Disney, and all three of them and a few more are not doing as well as they could. Now, everybody's got varying degrees of how well or not well they're really doing. But what people have to remember is that what makes this different is the fact that Disney is a much larger entity than Warner Brothers, Paramount, and Universal. They have a lot of things going for them besides film and television. Parks, cruises, publishing. They have all kinds of stuff they're connected to. And with all of that, and also they own a lot of land. I mean, with all of that, and if they are having problems themselves, this is not going to be good. And all of the stuff that people like, Valiant Renegade, Nerdrotic, WDW Pro, even Gary and myself, Doomcock, and of course, Midnight's Edge. All that they have been saying and we have been saying is that it makes no sense, financially and otherwise, to continue to do stuff where you are either leaving money on the table or you're producing things that people don't want to see. And that's having an effect not only on the box office, but viewership and on the ability to be able to produce merchandise that people actually want to buy. And in the case of Disney, you've really done a bang-up job in basically crippling 3 major companies that Disney owns and their ability to be able to sell merchandising. Pixar, Lucasfilm, and Marvel. All 3 who, prior to 2015, were doing incredible. And now, right now, in 2024, aren't. Across the board. You add that to what we've seen with Doctor Who. I mentioned Paramount earlier, which means, Star Trek and a few others. And what you've noticed is that things just are not going very well. And the announcement at San Diego Comic-Con of Robert Downey Jr. coming back, combined with the box office success for Deadpool and Wolverine, for the most part, while great, Deadpool and Wolverine might really just be a Band-Aid on a much bigger problem. It's going to be a year before we even get to another movie. So while Deadpool and Wolverine have made a lot of money and will continue to make a lot of money for as long as they're as Disney wants to keep them in theaters, it's not really going to solve a lot of problems for them because Disney's done such a bad job in just wasting a lot of money on reshoots and scrapbooking. Captain America, New World Order is a film that just financially is going to be next to impossible to break even at the box office. They have spent enough money to have made 3 of these films and have been shooting now for well over 2 years collectively. They finished production last year and went back after test audiences saw the film and didn't like it. We're back in production doing reshoots within weeks. A year ago today, they were reshooting the first reshoots for that movie. And that went on quite a while. Eventually, after that second round of reshoots, test audiences didn't seem to like what they'd seen. And that's when they went out and got Giancarlo Esposito to join the cast. His scenes, his version of the film, they started working on earlier this year. And let's see, I think that round of reshoots was almost 3 months. Think about that. 3 months. So all told, they spent enough money to have made 3 different films to make one movie. This film is going to have to be the cinematic box office equivalent of having really of having the last two Avengers film as one movie. That is the simplest way to put that. There is no other way to really look at that and make that go down any easier financially or otherwise. Okay? It's going to have to be a combination of Infinity War and Endgame, box office wise. And the chances that this film's going to be like that are not good. I really, really like Anthony Mackie. I do. I think he's a great performer. But I personally believe that he's gotten screwed on this deal.
Oh, yeah, he did. He and Mahershala Ali was screwed too. Man, Mahershala is an Oscar winner.
Two-time Academy Award winner. And they still couldn't make a Blade movie. That's the part that really has to be embarrassing. You know, you had 3 Blade movies done with Wesley Snipes, and Marvel, the MCU, as led by Kevin Feige, after making all of these films that have made money worldwide, and they couldn't make one Blade film. Wow. I mean, they don't even work for me, and even the most ardent MCU fan has to realize that things are not good. They're just not. And Forbes has a reporter that has made it a priority to figure out the real story behind how much money Disney productions are spending based on the forms that they fill out in getting money back for doing business in England. Okay? You film in England, you get a reasonable amount of money, a not very small amount of money back. In order to get that money, you have to fill out legal forms, including what your actual production budget is. Not the projected budget, not what it is on a Tuesday, your actual production budget. And it is because they actually release that information after a year or two. That information is released to the public after a year or two. Forbes has been running articles basically telling the truth about a lot of Disney productions, not just MCU productions. And the startling revelations about of how much money we are actually talking. With any other group of individuals, a lot of those people should have been fired a long time ago, because we're talking way more money. I have to at least say this for myself, way more than even I ever thought that they had spent. This is getting, well, I was about to say this is getting ridiculous. We've long since passed ridiculous. That is long. I mean, rear view mirror can't even see ridiculous now. We have long since passed that. So anyone that is invested, anyone that is a shareholder in Disney, this is the reason why things aren't going very well for you. You keep burning money. You keep burning through cash. And to balance out all of this, because I know some of you probably already saw this, but for those that didn't, somebody got a hold of James Gunn and was asking him, I think on Twitter, or X, I should say, about reshoots for Superman. Yeah, there's only one. That's it. One. Outside of that, movies in post-production, visual effects, basically color correction, post-production sound, recording the score. This film's going to be ready to go. And they only did one set of reshoots. One. And it wasn't even a set. It was just very short. They did it, got it, they're good. So the budget for Superman doesn't have to go up because you're not spending outrageous amounts of money trying to basically either reshoot parts, or in certain cases, you're basically shooting enough to make a whole new movie. Or in the case of Captain America, Brave New World or New World Order or whatever, to shoot 3 films. So that brings us to Paramount. Doomcock has had 2 videos, and his latest one from last night gave a little bit of a clarification, but the first video he put out was that he has a source out there that was saying that there's to be an emergency meeting to be held before Sunday at Paramount concerning Star Trek and Alex Kurtzman. And the gist of it goes a little something like this. Basically, Skydance and David Ellison have given money over to Paramount, CBS, a nice, healthy $6 billion to help them straighten themselves out. And so by giving that money, Ellison and his people are looking at everything, and turns out, just like I said weeks ago to a lot of you here, Kurtzman's been running his mouth about a brand new Star Trek project. Not Section 31, but his Starfleet show. And you have David Ellison basically out there going, wait, what Starfleet show? But he's doing something else now? So it's looking like Ellison and his people are trying to figure out a way to shut this production down. And they have to do it quickly. Because if this show goes into production before they can shut it down, then once they do shut it down, they'll be on the hook financially to have to give money to a lot of the performers and people that have been signed to it, because the clauses in their contracts will kick in. Basically, it's more legal tomfoolery from Alex Kurtzman. And this is one of many reasons why Kurtzman is someone for whom David Ellison's just wanting to get rid of. Now, I've heard people talk about how the executives in Hollywood look at things differently than those of us that are fans, those of us who aren't the biggest fans of a lot of what they've been doing. And I totally agree with them on that. These executives have a very different view of things. But the one thing that doesn't change is, in business, you have to start making money. And it doesn't matter how much money you can convince someone to let you have to cover expenses, you're going to eventually reach a point where they're not going to want to give you that money anymore. You're going to reach a point where they will be done. And you got to understand, these are loans, okay? Hollywood as a whole is in debt. These studios are in debt. And Disney is in one of the biggest holes out there, and they continue to find different ways to dig down deeper. Paramount's trying to dig themselves out. And the new owner of Paramount is basically just trying to figure out a way to stop Paramount from causing themselves any more damage and to bring the company back from this disastrous road that they're on business-wise. Because it's hard to make money. It's hard to make $1 when you're $5 in debt. That's the simplest way I can put it. Paramount has a shot to eventually find themselves at least either in the gray or back in the black. But they need to stop with the incessant digging further down. And at this point, that's what the meeting that they're supposed to have before Sunday is to discuss. How are they going to stop this? How are they going to stop him? Remember, David Ellison is the son of one of the richest men on this planet, Larry Ellison. Okay? David isn't just some billionaire's son. He's learned a lot. Skydance has done a lot. They know how to be successful. And, Bumpy Johnson. Hello, Bumpy Johnson. The streaming services have diminished the value of IPs. Yes. Yes. It just needs to be understood that first and foremost, you got to stop just doing damage to yourself, doing damage to your brands. And then learn how to do what you need to do, preferably with a lot less money. So, I don't know. What do you think, Martin, at this point?
I can think. Oh, I cannot think anything that you haven't said previously. I think you're on target. Different.
It's embarrassing is really what it is. These are people that deal with a lot of money, and they're acting like this is monopoly money sometimes. And for a business where everybody, technically, all the studios are in debt, and you want to continue to go further in debt thinking that it's somehow magically gonna turn things around. I mean, this is the very definition of insanity at this point. Nobody can. I don't trust that Disney has managed to get rid of a lot of the problematic people that have been behind a lot of the things that just haven't done very well. Hollywood is supposed to be this place that it's difficult to get into the industry, but that once you do, you are considered one of the best people out there to be able to get stuff done. And everybody, there's a lot of people out there that are just acting like money grows on trees and that they can just basically do whatever they want. And I can't believe I'm about to quote Chiwetel Ejiofor's Baron Mordo, but the bill comes due. The bill comes due.
Hey, Emmanuel
says, hi, everyone. I'm late this time. The family gathering went on for quite some time after the meal. Sounds like it was successful, and I hope you had a fantastic time. Bush McFadden, they have fired 100 a month since. Yes, they have. Hollywood fired 25,000 people right after the strike. Yes, but here's the thing. A lot of the people who were leading or major leaders or figures that have been, as Disney put it, part of the problematic situation that they've had. I mean, yeah. I just don't know. I look at this and I just don't know. Wait a minute. Bush McFadden says Disney is getting outside funding, I assume BlackRock, to keep pushing the agenda. 6 flops like Disney has had will end the studio. Yeah, they keep pumping out bad products. They've had over a dozen bombs. And he says, Martin Keith, good morning. Good morning to you, Bush. And you are right. You are right. BlackRock seems to be, but BlackRock also is running. It's getting towards the end for them. It begs the question, how far are you actually willing to go? And I just, yeah, there's not much to say. The inmates long ago were running the prison, but now it's time to get back control and go back to living our lives and hopefully being as creative as possible, So I'm looking at a lot of this stuff and just shaking my head because, again, I love actress Kathryn Hahn. She's a very talented woman. I've said it before on previous shows. She's one of the few that if you're not building a comedy around her, you should be. She's that talented. And she's also done a lot of projects that weren't straight up comedy. She's done dramedies and even drama. She's capable of everything. She's the full package. Okay. I don't know. Oh, it's Loki of Loki's Morning of Mischief. Brother Loki, you are more than welcome to join me on the show. My friend. Open invitation anytime. It is, without a doubt, just one of the best examples of insanity that I have ever seen. And again, especially from Disney, for all the money that they were making. I just still have to just shake my head. Let's see. Bush McFadden says, every executive who preaches politics over entertainment needs to leave entertainment and go into politics. That is true. Loki. Let's see. He says he's on the road. I totally understand, bro. See you when you get back, okay? Let's see. I am happy about the fact that at least in the case of James Gunn, he's back on set for season 2 of Peacemaker. So that makes me happy that they are doing that, especially with Frank Grillo, who's on set. But there aren't too many happy things between now and when things really start to turn around, and Disney's just not. Oh well. Anyway, there's a lot of product out there. There's a lot of stuff on the way. Echoes of a lot of the decisions made that got us here. And while Gary is looking forward to the Penguin series that will be on HBO Max. Miss Toe. Movie reviews. Hey. While Gary is excited about that, I'm not the biggest fan. But then again, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Batman. I think it's gonna take someone with I don't know where I was going. But my mind just sort of like froze up on me. I just wish when it did that, I wish people would still give me money like I was Disney or something. But this is really unacceptable at this point. A lot of fans have just walked away. On some level, I still believe that Disney can pull this off if they're truly willing to get rid of a lot of the people that are causing problems. Then it's really a simple matter of continuing to just get rid of people until the problem is no longer a problem. I don't know. We have been talking about this for so long, and it just seems like none of these people are getting it, or at least the ones that do get it don't care. Am I happy about how a lot of this is played out? No, I'm not. You didn't need to go this direction. Bumpy Johnson says the Batman was terrible, overly long. All the cinematic references made me want to watch better movies, and the depiction of the Riddler. But hey, Cape Crusader was worse. You got that right. And as I was saying to a friend last night, it should have been Professor Pig. That one. If Matt Reeves really wanted to make a good Batman movie and be the Batman fan that he claimed to be, it should have been Professor Pig. If you say you are a Batman comic book fan and you have no idea who Professor Pig is, then maybe you're not as much of a comic book fan as you say. It's that simple. Look, Bruce Timm was one of the people that was responsible for Batman the Animated Series, but he was not the guy who had all the great ideas.
Evidently not.
he was not that guy. He was the guy that came up with a lot of the designs for the characters. Really, one of the people that was really, in my opinion, one of the true creative engines of that show is Paul Dini. He's one of the few people that worked on the show that ever got an opportunity to do comics, and not just Batman the Animated Series comics, but comics with other characters that DC was able to trust him with. Anyway. Yeah, Paul Dini is the man. And I tell people all the time, if you look at the IMDb page for Paul Dini and compare that to Bruce Timm and a lot of the other people that have worked on the show, Paul Dini is definitely the man. He does not get enough credit for what he was able to do. Oh, thanks, Tim.
Let me run his video before he get even more belligerent.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Let's see. Melsto says Paul Dini was a huge part of Batman animated show. He created Harley Quinn. Yes, he did. Let's see. Shinosky says Arlene Sorkin created Harley on Days of Our Lives. Well, I think she created the voice on Days of Our Lives, but I get what you're meaning, Shinosky. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, wow. This is a crazy, crazy business. And it's a crazy, crazy time to be a fan. Things aren't going to be easy over this next year. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, Mefsto movie review says, Keith, just call me Meph or think of the comic book character Mephisto. Okay, look, I'll just call you Meph. I'll just call you Meph. I'm really not seeing too much in the way of what we could be getting out of anything related to Disney and Paramount at this point that's going to be helpful overall. There are things that Disney could do that could help right the ship a little bit. And, number one being stop wasting money. If you feel this need to take a $1 billion and set fire to it, may I please just ask anyone at Disney right now to just do yourselves a favor. And what you need to do is give yourself time to think about it. So cut me the check for $1 billion, and I'm sure Martin will happily give you my address, and I'll hold on to it for you until such time as you make your final decision about what you want to do with it, and I will gladly set it on fire for you. That's the sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'm sure Martin would he'd want to help me do that, right, Martin? I mean,
yeah. I'll give you your address so they can send the check. You're here down in Mexico, right?
You know I can count on you, man. Let's see. Bumpy Johnson, do you think Fantastic Four First Steps and Blade actually release with the current dates, July and November 2025, respectively? Okay, let me. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't really know what to think. Michael Giacchino is a very talented composer. I think it's great that they got the guy who created the music for The Incredibles to make the music for Fantastic Four. And for those of you who have not yet heard it, you can go online, go to Google, or even go to YouTube and just type in Fantastic Four First Steps and listen. It's good music, really good. That said, I'm not buying everybody in the cast. And by everybody, I mean Pedro Pascal. I'm sorry. I just don't buy him as Reed Richards. I just don't. You know, I want to, but I don't. So, and Blade, yeah, there's a very good chance that Mahershala Ali's Blade could go. Okay, Bumpy Johnson says Fantastic Four looks great. I kind of agree. Bumpy also says I think Blade might go the way of Eternals too. Yeah. Well, I agree. You know, I think it might, unless Ryan Reynolds can convince Kevin Feige that they could make a cheaper Blade film and just bring back Wesley Snipes and basically give Blade the Logan send-off. Make a movie like that. So, see, Tim says, no, I would just take the money and go to Las Vegas. I'll put half of it on black and I'll head down to the casino. Wow, well, real forward thinking there, Tim. Shinatsky, there's only one Blade. Yeah, you got that right. Let's see. Shinatsky also says Marvel's always trying. I saw what you did there. He says Marvel's always trying to ice skate uphill. Okay. Bumpy seems to agree with me. Pedro was bad casting. I'm not going to say bad because he is a talented guy. Nothing that I have seen from Pedro Pascal makes me think that he's capable of portraying Reed the way he is in comics. Now, if you're not going to follow the comics, then yeah, okay, maybe Pedro can bring something. You know, he just won't be Reed Richards. He'll just be a guy. So, anyway. Oh, wow. There's just so much going on. And I don't even think we've reached really we are still going through a lot of stuff. Okay, Bob Iger and his people are still there. They're still running the company the way they always have, even though, you know, despite whatever they say about getting rid of certain people. There's no guarantee in the case of Marvel that even the people that they quote unquote got rid of didn't actually find a way of staying in the employ of Disney overall. Bush McFadden says, we're hiring Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards, and we're going to bring to the role. Well, he's going to bring Pedro Pascal to the role. You're right about that, Bush. That's pretty much why you hire him. You hire him to be Pedro Pascal. Oh, wow. Again, I like Pedro Pascal. I do. But I know I shouldn't. But after Wonder Woman 84, I saw the limit of his talent with that film. The scene where he reunites with his son should be a breakout emotional moment. And it just didn't feel that way, you know? Yeah.
Well, my only complaint is, as I said before, he looks too old for the part.
Yeah. Well, Reed should be older than Sue, but not that old. And the whole mustache thing is still killing me. You know, he got rid of his mustache for Wonder Woman. Why can't he do the same for this film? You know, again, I can't buy Pedro Pascal as being smartest man in Marvel, and yet also a guy who is lost in thought, who is constantly distracted, and he's married to Vanessa Kirby. You have to be able to pull all of that off at the same time. You know, if it's really hard to think of, then put it to yourself this way. You should be able to match what Michael Keaton did in his performance as Bruce Wayne. You notice how Bruce was constantly looking around, constantly checking, not always sure, as if he's thinking of many different things, yet trying to act a different way. That's kind of sort of on the road to Reed. He's a guy that's constantly distracted, constantly, his mind is just going, constantly moving, coming up with things. Yeah, I don't know. I hope this movie is good. Okay, let me just end it with that. I hope this movie is good. I hope I'm wrong. But I don't know. There's a lot of I don't know at a time when you shouldn't have an I don't know. Here's the thing. 8-9 years ago, nobody who considered themselves a fan of the MCU ever had to use the words I don't know.
Well, yeah.
It was a good time to be a fan. Anticipate the next movie coming out. It was all good. But
all good things
must come to an end. Yeah,
come to an end.
I know, and it's difficult. It's difficult. I'm still I'm at cross purposes with this half the time. Look, ultimately, my hope is that Paramount and Marvel Studios can figure their way past all this stuff and start and really, number one, just stop blaming the fans when they screw up. That's all. We fans have no real control over what the MCU decides to do or not do. As well as, DC fans have absolutely no control over, what comes, what comes next. Oh, well. Bumpy says 34 films. It was a good run. Laugh out loud. Yes, it was a good run. Yes, it was a very good run. Well, I think we've had a nice show today, everybody. So let me go ahead and thank the Peter Venkman fan site, Shinatsky, Tim, Meth, Bumpy Johnson, such a cool name. Anima Confusa, Lunchtime, and let's see. Oh, my Lunchtime. I mean Gary. Thank you to Gary Anima who stopped by. Let's see. Oh, Gary wanted everyone to know that he's check out the Pop Culture Minefield page for Gary and Don and Doomcock together. Really good show. Let's see. The lovely Sherry, Andy Morrow, Monkey Jeebus, because Monkey's cool like that. Lauren Worth, Joe's Atmosphere, Mrs. A, Josh Coe, Cuber, Anima, who I've said again, and of course, the amazing Penny. Wow. Anyway, I think that's it for the list. Yeah, that's it for the list. So, I want to thank everybody for spending their early afternoon with me. And hopefully we've given you some things to think about. Peter Venkman, thank you very much. You have a good day as well.
We have a new one.
Kool-Aid Man. Oh, yeah. You guys crack me up. Thank you, Mrs. A. You helped to make the show better. So, on behalf of myself, the incredible Martin, because, without him, I'm just a guy sitting in a room talking to himself.
Yeah, right.
It has been fantastic. So I just want to say have an incredible afternoon and a much better day. In the words of my other twin brother, R&B. Thank you and good day. Thank you, Emmanuel.